Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from our space. 26 years down the drain. I understand that we're not allowed to give out names, but I'm guessing maybe full names. I read a lot of posts to try to get the gist of them, but I can't write like them. So vague and to the point. I don't know. I'll try my best. My name is Hector, and I'm a 47-year-old Puerto Rican. I think the abbreviation is soon-to-be ex-wife, Debbie, and I was married for 26 years. We were together for 30. We have gotten married in our senior year in high school when she got pregnant with our firstborn. I was lucky enough to get a job at UPS right after graduation. We struggled from the beginning. She's from a traditional Irish family, and they hated me at first. But I won them over, especially her father. I made sure he didn't have to work. By the time we were 27 years old, we had 5 kids, 4 girls and a boy. I was just fortunate that the boy came out first. We had our arguments over money, discipline methods, and me complaining about the lack of sex. I understood. We had 5 children, and they can be very exhausting. I tried to help as much as I could, but she was still tired. However, she was my everything. She always kept her body in shape. I try as well, but being a delivery driver for a very long time, I'm what they called skinny fat. I have a muscular chest, arms, legs, but I have a sloppy gut. I get the horseshoe hairline that caused me to shave it off. Yet, Daddy was my everything. There were times she was verbally abusive towards me, and whenever I had enough and lashed back, she became a cry-bully, and I just gave up. As the years went by, we were the only married couple in her friends group. Every last one of them got divorced. Out of our 17 married couple friends, 5 were caused by infidelity on the wife's part. 1 was on the husband's part, and the last one, they divorced because she friend-zoned her husband. I was against my wife hanging out with the newly single friends. However, that would just start a massive argument about me controlling her, keeping her as a prisoner, and my personal living sex doll. All of that caught me by surprise. The more she hung out with them, the more resentful she became. The kids took notice. I remembered my son and 2 of my daughters arguing with her when I came home, and as much as I understood their frustration, I scolded my kids for yelling at their mother, and when they left their room, I confirmed their issue, and she told me that we see her as a slave. I asked her where this was coming from, but she said forget it, shut down, and walked away. I remember D-Day so vividly. Debbie was out with her friends. I was in the kitchen cooking, and the kids were watching Train to Busan, and my 3 oldest came to the kitchen. I thought they came to check on the food, but they all had a concerned look. Before I asked what was the issue, my son told me that they think their mother was having an affair. Of course, at first, I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe them. I yelled at them, and I told them I was going to prove they were wrong. I turned on Where's My iPhone at and saw that she was at a bar on the outskirts of town. I hopped in my truck, and I went. When I arrived at the bar, it was crowded, but I saw her circle of friends in the corner booth acting like drunk idiots. When I approached them, they all turned pale, and that unsettling feeling hit my stomach. Since I didn't see her in the bar, I went outside and walked around the parking lot. There was a car in the back corner. It looked like the man in the driver's side was sleeping, a man who I thought was my friend. I approached the car to ask him if he had seen my wife, but when I got closer, it was obvious that he was getting a BJ, and the closer I got, the more I recognized the woman in the car. I was practically standing by the driver's side window, and none of them noticed me. I lost my temper. I broke the window, asked him out, and I wasn't civil. Debbie was screaming sorry over and over. I was yelling at her. Cops showed up soon after that, and I was arrested for assault and battery. I spent a week and a half in the county. I had to go to the infirmary because I thought I was having a heart attack, but it turned out I was suffering from broken heart syndrome. The news of what I did spread like wildfire. Eventually, my father-in-law bailed out. The man was practically in tears when I stepped through those gates. He profusely apologized to me for his daughter's actions. During the drive home, he told me he spoke to my manager and union rep about the situation so I can still keep my job. He said that the kids were staying with him, and Debbie was waiting for me in the house. He said he knows what was going to happen, which was why he brought the truck. He was right. When we got to the house, Debbie ran to me crying and tried to hug me, but I shoved her so hard that she fell to the ground. She looked at me with shock. I told her to get her crap out of my house and I wanted a divorce. She tried to fight it, but her father convinced her otherwise. An hour after they left, my mother-in-law came with the kids and I hugged them all for dear life. She apologized for her daughter's actions as well before leaving. Now, in my state, there's mandatory couples counseling before granting in the divorce, which in my opinion is complete BS. I don't understand why I have to go to counseling if she cheated. At the beginning of the sessions, I just sat there, listening to her dribble. That is exactly what it was, dribble. Blame shifting on the fact that we were young parents and she never experienced the wild lifestyle, the freedom, and she got carried away. She got lost in it, and her friends encouraged it. Soon, she felt like she was missing something, and she started a fling. The counselor tried a few times to make it my fault, telling me that I should have allowed her to spread her wings every once in a while and how I needed to see it from her point of view. I just looked at the woman and asked the counselor if she was smoking crack, because that was the dumbest thing that could have come out of her mouth. I asked Debbie how long she was cheating on me with him, and she said 4 months and insisted that he was the only one. But it was a mistake, and we could get past this because we had history. So I asked her more questions. Who initiated the sex, you or him? How many times did you go down on him? Did you swallow? Did he do you raw? Did he finish in you? Did they fall asleep together? Through her stream of tears, she answered them honestly, and I was quiet for a long while. The counselor tried talking to me twice during this, and I raised my finger. I thought about everything we did before and during her affair window. The laughter, the conversations, the sex, everything, and there was no inkling of her being sad or angry. We were just being us. When I finally did speak, I brought up the times we had sex during that window. I called her a whore. The counselor tried to correct me. I told her to shut up, as I continued to call her every name in the book. Eventually, I told her she was tainted in my eyes. Again, the counselor and Debbie tried to convince me that our history and relationship can get past this mistake, and I didn't want to hear it anymore. It was like they didn't care about my feelings on this matter. It was just about forgiving her and what I can do to get over it, and apologize to her for making her feel like a servant. So I walked out. This contested divorce has been a long uphill battle for the past 2 years. Debbie is still trying to make things right, still trying to get us back together. I don't know why, because our conversations are strictly about the kids, and when she tried to talk to me about something else, I hang up on her. Family gatherings are consisted of me avoiding her or not showing up at all. Our oldest children refuse to talk to her. I try to make them spend time with their mom, but they refuse, and I have chosen to respect that. My in-laws are at my house weekly, and I know they have been trying to make their daughter give me my divorce, but that has been a bust. My mother-in-law has been especially harsh on her, calling her a dumb brat, gossiping about her to her congregation. I had to ask her to stop because I didn't want the whole town to know our business. During the first year, my son and daughter created a Tinder account for me. I thought it was dumb. I'm a middle-aged man with 5 children who has a dad bod. Yet I have been on over a dozen very successful dates that have been a real confidence booster. Recently, I met someone during my court-issued community service. Her name is Isabel, and she was our Habitat for Humanity supervisor. She's drop-dead gorgeous and won first place in a Vanessa Marcel look-alike contest at a soap opera convention she and her daughter attended. That's how we started talking. My daughters love watching General Hospital, and I sat with them. To me, this is one of the few times I get to spend with them. I introduced her to kids 6 months in, and they instantly took a shine to her. To make things really awkward, my son and her daughter appeared to really like each other. However, Debbie is not letting go. She actually told her youngest 2 children that eventually, we will get back together. I had to tell her to stop telling them this. Her father is trying to make her go see a therapist, but I just want this over already. I don't regret my years with Debbie. I have 5 wonderful kids with her. I man up and build a life for her. My only regret is that she ruined 26 years together on a fling. I regret that she thought she had me in a way that I was just going to let it slide and take her back. However, I do hate her. When I run into her old group of friends around town, I openly call them whores and homewreckers instead of their names. That love and respect that Debbie had for her disappeared when I caught her in that car. She will always be the mother of my children and nothing else. I just hope that she can come to terms with that. Our first reaction comes from D. Beatty. Bravo for you. I wish I'm as strong as you. Our next comment comes from Rubik's Eft. She won't ever come to terms with the situation. That she lost control of the narrative, her false image, and that you are leaving her. She will especially not be able to come to terms with the fact that you have found a replacement for her. For as long as she has kept her wayward friends, your assumption should be that she has been cheating the entire duration. all the best going forward. Next comment from Boston Dana 2. I'm always amazed that when a man cheats, he's a no-good sleazebag. But when a woman cheats, it's because the man didn't do enough to make her feel special. Nobody should cheat, and there is no justification. If you are in a relationship that you don't want to be in, get out before you cheat. It'll hurt, but less than when you were caught cheating. Good for you for being strong for your children and setting boundaries with your soon-to-be ex-wife. I wish you well, my friend. One more comment from Adventurous Maybe 170. I am at your side, bro. Your ex-wife is a broken person. You just keep going with your life and find another right person to put your love, not with someone who won't appreciate that. Let's just not say or call anything bad to her. Let her be her ways. That's her, a broken person. Try to not think too much about her. It's not worth it. With full support from your kids, you'll be great again. Trust me. On to the next story. My girlfriend cheated on me, and I don't really know how to deal with it emotionally. So, I'm 21. I met my girlfriend when I was 18, 3 years ago. When I met her, her parents had a pretty strong hold on her, so we rarely went out. And most of the time, when we planned something, they would not allow it at the last second possible. Basically, I woke up with a message saying she couldn't go out with me. She was a year and a half younger than me, so I ended up swallowing the feelings they caused me. I sent her flowers on Valentine's Day when we couldn't be together, and she promised me when she turned 18, she would have total freedom. It only got worse. When she became 18, her parents argued a lot, and this period of our relationship stressed me a lot. I always told her she could come and live with me since they kept locking her in her room and also left the house a couple of times to try and be with her to calm her down. It ended when she said she ran away and I went to get her in the middle of the night, but ended up never seeing her, and she said she called the cops and they were talking with her parents. I didn't doubt her and went home. The problem of rarely seeing her kept getting worse. All I wanted to do was see her like at least twice a week, and it only seemed like she kept getting more distant. I compensated this with many things. I bought her a lot of games for us to play together without asking her to pay me back. When her parents argued with her that she didn't know how to cook, I taught her a couple of dishes I know. When she was feeling sad, I got her a ukulele because she always talked about it and tried helping her learn. I did some other things too, but basically I did all of this because I really loved her. I really did. I could have spent my whole life doing anything she would want, and the only thing I asked from her was her company and love. We had problems. She would lie a lot. She would show me drawings of other people and say it was hers, and I doubted it. So I reversed image searched and confronted her about it and told her she did not need to lie because I liked her drawings. She has a deviation on her spine, and I work out. So I asked around my gym and set everything up for her to join and get help with her back. Only for when the day came for her to go with me there, she calls me and tells me that she isn't even in the country and went on vacation with her family. Plus, most of the time, we would choose a day to hang out. When the day came, I would wake up with some excuse of hers on why she couldn't go. This happened like 8 out of 10 times, and I ended up going to bed already knowing I would get one of those messages the next morning. Now I'm going to talk about me. She was my first girlfriend. I always had this idea about the boyfriend I wanted to be. I have always wanted to be helpful and able to deposit as much love as I can give. My parents aren't exactly a perfect relationship, and I grew up around a lot of arguing and screams. I had to learn to not be like that, and I can admit that I was taking on my father's temper sometimes, and this was aggravated by all the lies. I guess I was also kind of blind too, if she actually wanted my help on some things. I felt really helpless close for a breakup. I would try to set up a day for us to be together, and I would cook with her, and we would talk and all that, and she kept delaying it all while saying I do nothing with my life, and that she was going out with her friends and I should avoid seeing them. We reached a breaking point, and ended up having to talk to her best friend for us to be together the next day. She would not kiss or even hold my hand. After that, we never went out again. She kept ignoring most of my messages and was acting really cold to me. My family always told me I deserved better, and I never heard them. My mother kept motivating me, and my brother did as well. He also had relationship problems. My aunt told me a few months ago that if I did not leave this relationship, she would cheat on me. I did not believe my aunt, but I broke up with her for real a few days ago, and she told me that she had been talking with a guy for a couple of months now. And right after we broke up, she changed her Instagram to her and him and everything, man. You know, I just kind of feel hopeless, I guess. I invested so much into it. I really poured everything I had, and to just be thrown out like this, I don't think I have even cried it all out yet. My brother told me to live my best life since I'm 21, but I don't think I'm the type to meet people to sleep with them. It was never about the sex for me. It's an important part, sure, but I always valued having someone there for me more. My days consist of gym, walking around a lot, and then home and sleep. I don't think I can even go to the university I planned on going to out of fear of seeing her and how that would make me feel. I tried installing Tinder and Bumble to meet people and see if I can find someone. I'm not trying to substitute her, I'm just trying to find someone who cares for me for real. I guess I just feel lost. I learned a lot during the 3 years I was with her. Before that, all I did was sit on the couch and play games. Now I do 3D models and play guitar and cook and work out a lot. I know I developed, and I'm thankful for it, but deep in me I just can't comprehend how after all we went through, all the good moments, and these moments we cooked together and slept together and hugged and kissed, how she could just discard that so quickly. When she lied, I tried to break up and I couldn't. I would just run back to her because I just hate being alone. Having someone at least seem to care about you in a romantic way is something that gave a lot of meaning to my life. Without it, I just feel like some kind of waste of skin that is apparently cracky enough to be cheated on and abandoned by her and my friends too. Sorry if venting like this is not supposed to be on this subreddit. I just needed to write this somewhere and thought this was the correct place. I hope I can find someone I can love and share my life with, you know? Cooking with them and just feeling them there. I guess I just kind of look for the feeling of being appreciated, and I tend to do a lot of stuff for people in the hopes that they give me some kind of recognition and affection. And I feel that comes from how when I was little, I was always trying to get positive attention to counteract all the negative things, like my parents arguing because of me. A first response comes from methodology. Forget about relationships altogether. I know it's easier said than done, but just try to work on enjoying your own company for a while. You need to learn to love yourself. You need to see that what you are is a great guy with many talents. Just because she didn't see it doesn't mean it's not true. Believe your family when I say things like this too. It hurts now, but it won't hurt forever. And you really can do better. Also, you definitely should go to university. Do not throw away your career chances just because of some immature girl. Best of luck. One more response from Sick RM. There's a lot you could have done differently, but the important thing is you got out with no permanent ties. Look into reading No More Mr. Nice Guy or listening to the audiobook on YouTube to see how you can avoid another relationship like this one. Also, keep leaning into your hobbies. You have time to date and figure things out. Take it day by day.